Hello, my friends. So I have been ridiculously busy and I did not get a video out this week. And so I just wanted to come and chat with you guys and see if you had questions or you just want to chat. Like, this is going to be super informal. I don't have anything planned. I just want to talk to you guys. So I have like 20 minutes and I'm going to try to answer questions. So, hello, Violet Summers. How are you doing today? I'm doing excellent. How are you guys doing? Um, I am so thrilled to just get to like chat with you guys low key and answer questions. We do this all the time on Instagram Live, and I thought it might be fun to do here too. So, if you have any questions, you can put them in the little chat and we'll try to answer some of them. So, what have I been up to? Man, it has been like a super crazy busy several weeks after I finished my board and passed, which is so great. I'm happy to never, ever, ever have to do that ever again. And then my kids had birthdays. Pax had a birthday. The twins had a birthday. We had Thanksgiving, and now it's almost Christmas. In the meantime, I have organized and thrown a really wonderful conference for physicians who are women and want to be business leaders and potentially own private practices. So it's just been so crazy busy. So I'm sorry I didn't have time to edit this week, but I'm glad you guys are here now. So let's see what questions you guys have. All right. And I don't have a lot of time because I have some other things I have to go do, but I wanted to come and at least see you guys and all of your beautiful faces so that I can get some time with you and not, I don't know, completely abandon you for the week. How do you feel about birth center births with nurse midwives? Yeah, Jenna Carey, thank you for asking that question. So I wouldn't personally have a birth in a birth center, but I think if someone is going to choose an alternative birth, that being informed on that decision is super important. And a nurse midwife or a certified midwife who has a high level of training is something I personally would find to be way, way, way better than someone who is not professionally trained as a midwife. There's a lot of different designations of midwife, as some people don't know that. And so, yeah, I think you just really need to know who your person is and what their training is. And I love working with nurse midwives and think they're really great. Again, I would never choose to have my own baby outside of a hospital, but I am a proponent for informed decision making. And I think that we need easier access to how to make that an informed decision, reliable information on those things. But for right now, that isn't out there and it makes it a little bit more difficult. So, in my ideal world, we'd be set up like other countries where home birth and out of hospital birth is a lot more consistent. The care in the US for delivering outside of a hospital is just extremely inconsistent. And you don't, unless you really understand the training of different providers, you don't understand definitely how much training they have and how much experience they have, which can be really confusing for the average person. So that's a long-winded answer to say it's not right for me, but I don't villainize appropriately informed decision making. Let's see. Lori's old, so excited to see you live. Thank you. I'm so excited to see you guys here. Oh my gosh, I can't help. There's so many questions. How do you keep up with these? My gosh, on Instagram, it's a little bit easier. Laurel M, what is your opinion on male birth control? So there's currently not any really good male birth controls out there. And then, actually was really talking about this at this past conference that we were holding with some of my friends there. And we had kind of talked about the idea that like, yeah, that would be really cool, except that as a female, I would find it really hard to not be in control of that. So if it was somebody that I'm, was in a relationship with and I knew that they were actually taking it as they were supposed to, that's one thing. But male birth control, I think, is going to have a hard time ever being fully adopted as something that people rely on because you can't prove that you're doing it, So like if it's someone that you really trust, obviously that would be really great. But if it's somebody that you've just met and they say that they're on it, that's a little bit harder to trust when you're the person that would end up having to decide what to do if a pregnancy occurred. So I think, I mean, I'm all for development of that as an option. I think uptake in the general population is going to be a hard thing to overcome. Oh my gosh. There are so many things here. So someone has a live chat donation. Can you do a future video collab with a oh, this is from Nope Ninja. Can you do a future video collab with a trans woman on trans women's issues as the process is complicated? I think that's a really, really wonderful idea. There are some transgender people, sorry, I'm used to being clinical, but there are people who are transgender on YouTube that I would absolutely welcome to be on my channel anytime. So if you guys personally know or have any pull with a transgender YouTuber who would like to come on and talk about things, you let me know and I would be thrilled to do that. Otherwise, I definitely can at some point soon, hopefully plan a reaction video to something in that realm, just to talk about some of the issues that come up from the medical side. Thanks for asking that question, Nope Ninja. There are 700 of you here. That's insane. Thank you guys. I'm so excited that you're here. I wish I could answer every single one of these questions. I wish that this chat also wouldn't move so fast because I can't see it. Micah Randy, oh my gosh, I've never caught a live before. You're an inspiration. I'm in my final year of medical school and you're an inspiration. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here and just kind of endlessly supporting me in every random thing I decide to do on the internet. Like, I seriously feel like we have one of the most positive, supportive, just overall wonderful communities on the internet. It's really great. Faith, Hope, Love, have you heard of Turner syndrome? Of course, I've heard of Turner syndrome. So Turner syndrome is monosomy X, a genetic condition where someone has, instead of 2 X chromosomes or a Y and X chromosome, they have an X chromosome only. And it has a variety of ways that it presents, anything from really being asymptomatic for a long period of time to never having a period or having secondary amenorrhea, loss of cycles, to really severe problems. So it's kind of a spectrum of how significant it is, and is associated with really significant heart defects in some people as well, and infertility usually. All right. You guys are just full of questions. I feel terrible when I do these that I can't answer them all, so I'm really sorry. Slow down. Nala Dolman, do oral contraceptives interfere with antibiotics? No, so this is a myth that I hear a lot. Most antibiotics are not affected by birth control pills and vice versa. So there are a few really rarely used antibiotics that can be affected by contraceptives, and that contraceptives can be not as effective when you're taking them, but they're not antibiotics that we use very often. One of them is used primarily for things like tuberculosis. I mean, it's just really, really rare that they're going to have an interaction. So we have lots of literature on this. We used to think it was a lot more common than it actually is. But yeah, I would always ask if you're getting an antibiotic prescribed, if it can interfere with your birth control, or just use condoms while you're on it. But I would say most antibiotics do not interfere with birth control. Don Lenzel, hello from England. I have followed you on Twitter since you were a med student. What? That's insane. Every once in a while, someone says something like that, and it just blows my mind for many reasons, not the least of which is that I basically disappeared off the planet for an entire 4 years while I was in residency, off the social media planet. And the fact that there's still people out there who have been in this since it was Twitter and the blog, thank you so much, Dawn. That's truly incredible. Like, it means the world to me. Caitlin Strong, if you're on a birth control that stops periods, will it also postpone menopause to help you stay fertile longer? So that's been a theory that people wanted to have be true, but we haven't found that to play out and be the case. So no, I would not say that's the case. I like how it. All right, Lexi Frameness with a super chat. Thank you. I don't really. I'm trying to think of. We should do like a live stream for some charity or something at some point. That would be really fun. We need to come up with an idea. Um, yeah. You guys email me some ideas if you think of something in that realm. So, Lexi Framus, would you recommend for someone who has constant LH levels throughout the month? My OPKs are always high and dark. So, that's something you definitely need to address with your doctor. And ovulation prediction kit, which gets consistent positives or frequent LH surges, can be a representation of several different pathologies. And it yeah, I mean, I can't answer what it is or why it would be, but that's definitely something that should be taken and talk to your doctor or advanced practice provider about, because it's not usually something that should be normal, but a lot of different things can cause that. Elizabeth Jackson, what age should you start going to the gynecologist? I am 12 and don't know when. So I usually tell my patients, you need to go to the gynecologist when you turn 21 to start getting pap smears. Now, you can also get that done with a family practice provider or advanced practice provider. It doesn't have to be a GYN doctor, or you can start coming earlier than that. I don't do pelvic exams in my patients if they are under the age of 21, unless they're having a problem specifically requiring that exam. So I will often have patients who are a lot younger than 21 come in. They just want to talk about birth control, or they want to go over some questions, and we just won't do a pelvic exam. I think that establishing that relationship is really good. It kind of brings everyone back to the same page and gets some of that fear to dissipate, and just generally lets people take control of their health. So anytime there's a problem, anytime there's something going on, or if you get all the way to 21, you've never wanted to come in to talk about birth control options or other problems that you might be having, then 21. Do you do IUI in your office, or do patients have to go to a fertility clinic? HFOA. I would love to do IUI in my office, but we don't have anyone to prep the sample from the donor or from the spouse or whoever is giving the male sample. So I can't do IUI in my clinic, although all of us are capable of doing IUI. The procedure itself is extremely easy to do, but prepping the sample requires usually some sort of an andrology lab who can spin the sample down. We don't have that. Mariah Cunningham, is it true that ectopic pregnancies are misdiagnosed 40 to 50% of the time? I don't think so. Misdiagnosing an ectopic is really, really dangerous. I would think that we generally identify ectopic relatively well. 40 to 50% sounds extremely high. I don't think that's true. Morgan Rab, would you consider making a video on endometriosis? Definitely. My videos are much easier to make when they're reaction style. Actually, I can make them however, but you guys like to watch them better when they're reaction style. So if there's a topic that you want and you can find me a person who has made a video on that, that's a really great way for me to do that. And in the meantime, I've done a podcast with a couple of the girls from The Bachelor, Jade Roper and Carly Waddell. It's been almost a year and a half now. Their old podcast, we had an episode on endometriosis, which was really good. So yeah, I'd love to talk about that at some point. I just need the correct medium to do that. Mommy to a little band. I love your vlogs. I love making vlogs, and they take me forever. So yeah, and then nobody watches them. Not nobody, let's be honest. all of these numbers on YouTube since I started this channel less than a year ago, which is insane, are just crazy high numbers for me as just a normal person and not like a famous YouTuber. But yeah, I really love making them, but they just kill my, like every time I post one, not nobody, but a lot less people watch it. So I just don't know if this channel is the right place for me to post vlogs. But we have so much great footage from our Switzerland vacation that I'm almost considering just making another channel where I can make those vlogs into actual vlogs and post them on a different channel. But I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. These questions go so quickly. Oh my gosh. All right. Racer Girl 65, you are a famous YouTuber. No, my friend. I'm not. And that's not my goal in life. But my alter ego thinks that she's a famous YouTuber. So I guess I'll take that. I'm just a normal person. But I think that's why this works so well. Like this, us, you guys, you in there, whoever's in there, and me, we work well because it's like your OBGYN. I mean, it's like your friend is just happens to be an OBGYN. We're just going to get some coffee, chat about these things. Like, I want to hear your side. I want to hear what questions you have. I just want to be your friend who also knows about your lady bits and your non-binary bits and whatever you identify as bits. Someone wants to know how I got the bruise on my arm. I don't know. I actually didn't know it was there until I started waving my arms around like a crazy person and saw it. So who knows? Let's see. You can set the live chat to slow chat. Wait, Jennifer, how do I do that? Does it? I don't know how to do that. Oh my gosh, I am just not able to understand this very much. Someone else asking about endometriosis. I'm going to have a lap to look for this. Will you ever do a video about endometriosis? I would love to do. Yeah, yes. I mean, it's definitely high on the list. You guys want it. I would love to make it. I would love to do that. I just have to figure out the right medium and what questions you have and all of that. So yes. If you have a specific video you want me to react to on endometriosis, yes, I would love that. It's definitely in the works. All of you stop telling me to collab with Dr. Mike. He's the hardest person on the planet to get a hold of. He doesn't, the ball is in his court. The ball is not in my court. I tried to reach out to him many times, which is fine. Like, he's a busy guy. He's a lot to do, I am sure, because I know how hard it is for me to just manage all of these mediums with way less people following me than he does. So I know he's super busy, but yes, I can't collab with Dr. Mike unless he decides he wants to. I've done my part on that. He seems like a really nice guy, but I know he's so busy. And we do fine on our own. Like, it would be great to work with him, but also we're cool, you guys. We've got it. We just keep doing our thing over here on the little side of YouTube. I need to figure out how to work this quick, this chat stuff. How do you feel? Pam M wants to know how I feel about menstrual cups. I talked a little bit about these in the Reddit video. They're great option for some people. I have no negativity towards menstrual cups, and some people really love them. And I think it's person dependent. Another super chat from Cheryl Perry. What are the next steps after trying to conceive for a year? January is a year mark, and I know to make a doctor appointment, but I'm nervous about it. So yeah, I would say for me personally, if you're close to a year, go ahead and make that appointment now, because my schedule, and I'm not talking about me in regards to this question, but my schedule is booked out really far. And the worst thing in the world is deciding, okay, now I want to visit, and it's a 3-month wait. So I would, first off, if you're getting close to wanting to have a chat about it, go ahead and make an appointment with your doctor. That way you can make it for February or something like that. You get lucky and get pregnant in January, you're golden, you cancel it or you change it to a prenatal appointment. So, that's kind of step one. And then what we do is we chat. I'm going to chat about your periods. I'm going to want to look through your calendar. I'm going to want to know if you've been doing any ovulation prediction kits or any supplements or anything like that. I want to know all the medicines you're on, all your medical history, your surgical history, anything that's ever come up. I generally like my patients to bring their significant other to that visit so that we can chat with them, find out if there's any problems going on there. Just lots and lots of chatting, and then probably some blood work and maybe some imaging, kind of depending on the person and what they have going on. Okay, I've got time for like only 1 or 2 more questions. So I'm going to just scroll through and try to find some that I would. In your live settings, advanced settings, enable slow mode. Crystal, thank you. I'm going to do that. We only have a few more minutes for today's chat, and we should do this more often. What day would be good? What day should we do super chats? I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. What day should we do live chats? We can try to do that a couple times a month or something. Thank you to everybody telling me how to use the internet, since I don't know how to do these settings. Oh my gosh. How old were you when you started med school? I was 22. I think I turned 23 like a month after we started. Oh my gosh. All right. I think that we probably are going to have to wrap this up. Brianna Perry, what do you think about purity culture? I briefly touched on that in my video about TI when he made all those ridiculous comments on the podcast recently. So if you want to know a little bit about that, you can go back to there. But here's the deal. Like, I totally understand. I grew up in the Bible Belt. I get why it became a thing, but I think purity culture has gone the way of being toxic in some cases. So I do understand where it comes from. I do understand why some people believe in it as a positive thing. But I think anytime you start attaching somebody's self-worth to their sexuality or to their purity, it's just negative. Like, that can never be a positive thing, in my opinion, when you call it purity and attach somebody's worth as a person to it. And although I understand like the basis of that and that it's important to an individual or to a family, I also see that it just puts this unnecessary pressure on people. And I don't like that being the case. Like, my preference, if I got to pick how everyone lived their life, and I don't, so I won't do that. But like in our family, I would just really love if we could just have a healthy conversation about consent, about appropriate, about emotional readiness, about physical readiness, about safety, about respect, mutual respect. Like, purity culture in some instances, and actually probably in a lot of instances, has gone the way of being toxic and harmful, and that worries me. And I see the effects of that in my clinic. So, I got accused in that video of saying like, oh, everybody should just go out and have sex with whoever they want. Like, obviously I don't think that. That's insane. Like, that is not safe or good for you either. I just think that we shouldn't be attaching our self-worth as people, especially in those really formative teenagers when things are confusing and hard, and just the conversation should be around safety and respect and readiness and emotional maturity, and just not getting pregnant or getting STDs. Like, I don't know. I feel like it has made us forget some of the other things that are really important by focusing so much on that, which can be evidenced by all of the plethora of scientific evidence that we have that abstinence-only sex education doesn't work. So, there's a difference between encouraging someone to wait until they're ready or wait if they choose until they're married, and purity culture, which is toxic and puts value on this unnecessary. So that's it. That's my question. I mean, my question. I'm so tired. That is my spiel on that. So, all right, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. You guys are amazing. We'll try to do this more often. There were so many wonderful questions. I will have a new video out on Monday. I have one ready to go on gestational diabetes, and I have one ready to go on reacting to another episode of Strange Pregnancies, which should be really, really interesting. It's a very fascinating episode. I can't wait to finish editing it and get it up because I think you guys are going to love it. So that will be up on Monday at 7 a.m. Central Time. And if you're not following me on Instagram, please come over there. We have lots of fun chatting. And if you're not following me on TikTok, that's where I act like an idiot on the internet. So feel free to come. And why am I advertising that? Oh gosh. Okay. Maybe don't. Maybe just the Instagram, not the TikTok or Twitter. Can do Twitter, but yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Wonderful. I'm going to actually go get my work done that I need to get done. Thank you for being here. You are amazing.